Roll call.
Ansa Lee.
Here.
Fergie Stewart.
Here.
Joe Hill.
Here.
Megan Morris.
She's absent with notice.
Peter Graham.
Here.
Susan Holman.
Here.
I'm present, Tom Buford.
Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we don't have anything on the Board of Zoning tonight. On the approval of the agenda, we do need to take off number 1 of new business. Jacob is ill today, so hopefully we can get him in here at the next meeting.
Make a motion to remove item 1 off of new business.
Second.
Get a motion to approve the rest of the agenda?
I make a motion that we approve the amended agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll go to public comments. Bill King.
Good evening. Is this amplified or is it just tape? You can hear
Could you
me.
speak into it a little bit more, please? Or raise it up, or?
My name is Bill
Okay.
King. My partner and I own several rental properties in town. One of our properties was the topic of a lengthy discussion at your October meeting, and I wanted to address that discussion. I'm talking about 1 Washington Street, the fourplex that had a serious fire earlier this year. First, I want to say that it's really unprofessional to discuss a person's property without in an open meeting without alerting the property owner. Several years ago, this commission agreed that it would always contact property owners in advance of meetings, but apparently that practice has fallen by the wayside. Had I been notified, I could have clarified the misinformation that was stated at the table and explained the history of the property, as we've been down this road before. It was asserted that we would need to come to you for a conditional use permit, as the property did not have legal non-conforming zoning status. But the property is legal non-conforming, as clarified by Ordinance 2142 in 2011. When that ordinance was being considered, the building official, Bobby Ray, researched the property and documented that it had been multifamily at least as far back as the early 1980s, and therefore fit the criteria for non-conforming use. It was stated that our property shouldn't be on this list of legal multifamily because of a 2005 survey of apartments in the city on which it didn't appear. I don't know who compiled that list or what its purpose was, but it was clearly incomplete. We bought the 4-unit building in 2003, so I know for a fact it was apartments when that list was compiled. We are rebuilding 4 much-needed affordable housing units, and I don't understand why a city commission would try to throw up roadblocks. This was allegedly about parking concerns, but parking has never been an issue for our tenants. There are spaces on the street and many just around the corner. One of the benefits of having apartments right in town is that many tenants don't have or need cars. They can walk or trolley most places very conveniently. And the on-street parking in the neighborhood slows down traffic a bit, which is a good thing. A couple of other comments were made that I believe reflected badly on me. One commissioner stated there wasn't a building permit posted, quote, "so we don't know what's going on there." This is just not true. There's been a building permit posted since the start of the rebuild, and current permits remain posted. It was also stated that the fire marshal ordered me to put in firewalls and smoke detectors. While this is technically true, I was told these things because I went to the fire marshal to ask what I needed to do. The way it was said implied that I was resistant to the idea and had to be ordered, or like I was trying to get away with something. The topic seems to have fallen off your agenda, so I'm hoping someone did the research and realized we are operating legally and there's no cause for planning's involvement. If I sound frustrated, it's because I am. About every 5 years, we have to come back and defend the property's status. It's been made clear to us that people don't like apartment renters in their neighborhood. It's a not in my backyard thing. But this apartment house has been there long before any of the current neighbors, and it has provided affordable housing to countless numbers of our city's workforce. It is a positive force in the city. Lastly, I had planned to attend your November meeting, but because the city website still has your meeting schedule up for 2021, I got the wrong day. It would be helpful for the public if the website was updated so that we can find out when you meet. Thank you.
Thank you. John Rankin?
Yeah, my name is John Rankin, and I am co-owner of 1 Washington Street with my husband, Bill. And I guess I think Bill said it all, but I just wanted to reiterate that, you know, during this last election, every politician was saying, you know, that affordable housing was going to be their top priority. And I guess everybody wants affordable housing, they just don't want it in their neighborhood. Anyway, I really hope this commission really addresses this problem because it's very real here in town. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Unfinished business. Discussion of minimum property maintenance.
Make a motion to discuss.
All in favor?
Aye.
Well, I had this, I mean, it's something we've been working on, and really wanted to address it with Jacob. I know that Susan has been doing some research. If you'd like to share your research with us.
So there's two ordinances that are on the city's website. I'm not sure if these are, I think these are on the current list, not the archive list. So 1902 and 1945, but they both address the adoption of the International Building Code to City Code. So based on what Kyle has given us, it does not appear as if that is in there. One was done in, let's see, March 10th of 2004, and the other one was from the 3rd of March 2003. So there's a couple of different things where they've taken out a couple little sections and whatnot, but they do address in 1902 that the city moved from the Southern Standard Building Code to the International Building Code instead, which means our code book should reflect that. And I know Kyle printed out a copy of the International Building Code, and we'd had that discussion, or had this discussion a while ago about trying to adopt it. So what I'm thinking is, I haven't had a chance to read through all of it, but I'm not sure it was codified. So I'm not sure what the process is when we find an ordinance and it hasn't been codified. But, you know, technically, it was adopted by the city according to those two ordinances. So it's mentioned twice. So it's just a matter of, you know, what is the process when something hasn't been codified? Does it automatically go to it didn't really happen, or or can the city codify it at this point, or do we have to go through the process again of creating another ordinance that will adopt it? So those are my questions.
I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I have found some ordinances since I've been on planning that have not been codified, and they're very important ordinances. And I did bring that up to our city clerk. I also know that, I believe due to budget constraints, getting things codified every year is not in the budget, so I don't know how often that's done.
Okay, and I had this conversation with Kyle because I remember having the discussion about whether or not something was codified. Even though it becomes an ordinance, there still is a fee associated with codifying, correct?
I believe so.
Okay,
Because it goes down to Little Rock.
Okay, that's what I thought I had remembered, that that there's another step in actually.
But if the ordinance is passed and then it's enforced, then it isn't necessarily codified.
Okay, so then the question really is, I can go and do research on this and see if I find something that's missing, and I think I will. The question is, who's sending a letter to verify whether or not those ordinances are still good, or if they need to be redone, or if they can be taken and sent to be codified?
I think that we should wait till after the first of the year and meet with the new city clerk and get some direction from her on that, because she's going to be the one doing that. And if you want to research and find whatever other ones you want to find, I'm a little hesitant to move forward with this maintenance thing, not knowing what we already have,
Okay.
what direction the mayor has given Jacob on this, because we all certainly want to be on the same page. I met with him and with Kyle, and I mean, he's certainly trying to bring us all up to date, and I know all this takes time. And I don't want to do a lot of work on this if,
Right, I understand. I guess, at a very basic level, it would be good to know that while planning continues to go through different projects or different things that we're researching, what is the process? If we find something, at least find that out. If we find an ordinance that doesn't appear to be codified, what is the process? And if that's just Kyle bringing it to the city, or if that's the Planning Commission bringing it to City Council and saying, this hasn't been codified, and allowing them to make that decision, that would be great. But I think that's kind of the start. Like, that would be a good
Yeah.
first step. And like I said, I'll go ahead and go through this information and research this week just to see if it looks like it has been codified or not.
I don't know how the decision is made, what is codified and what is not codified. And also, in all fairness to the process, we've had different city clerks at different times, and I don't know if they each have their own way of doing things.
Right.
I don't know if there's a manual how you do things, but since we're about to have a change, I just would recommend that we wait until after the first of the year.
Okay. Okay.
If that's okay with everybody else.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that the term codification is when the state registers it as a ordinance? Is that where the
When
fee
it
comes from?
that's when it comes into the book.
Okay. That's all I wasn't sure.
And I know that that's not done every year.
So, local government clerk sends it to the state.
You'll have to get closer to your mic.
Get.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, I'm sort of curious about that process myself, as far as to find out if something's codified. But if it was going to be, would the clerk would send it to the state? And
I
then
believe the city clerk sends it to the municipal league, and then
the municipal league.
they codify it, and then they get it back to us.
Okay.
And these were done 20 years ago.
Right.
So, I mean, in reality, if they were an ordinance that was important, such as changing to the International Building Code, it should be in our code.
It's not going to be in what we have, because we don't, the
See.
building code's not really under our purview,
Okay.
but it has a direct, I think, relation to what we're trying to do on our maintenance
Right.
ordinance.
Right.
But we have to see what the city's actually is, and then
Right.
go from
Right.
there, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Because this nuisance ordinance that we're working off of, it's very possible that we're going to find that in another ordinance. Because I believe David Mitchell did this nuisance ordinance when he was on city council.
I don't know. Okay, so we're just going to delay this until after the first of the year. Maybe get Jacob back in at that time?
I mean, what are y'all's thoughts on this?
Is there could you request what he has currently so that I can at least look at it and see if it,
What he has as far as building code?
yeah.
Yeah.
He's got to be operating under some kind of code, I mean, that's like pretty basic. I mean, whether you're using the Southern Building Code or the National Building Code, I mean, that's.
It should identify it, right?
The way that I understand it from Jacob is we currently are on the 2012 International Building Code, and the state is looking to adopt the 2021 Building Code. And the way I understand it is when the state updates it, the city automatically adopts that as well. But I will verify that.
Which would be great, because, you know,
And is that just the building code?
As separate from the maintenance code, I believe it's all together.
Okay, so then if there already is one, then we would be looking at that.
so I should be able to find that online too, though, right? Even,
The 2021 code.
yeah.
So the
Maybe.
2021 code is what I've put in your packet, is what Jacob has given
Oh,
me
that's
access
true.
to.
Okay.
And I just printed off the maintenance stuff, but yeah, he has access to the whole thing, so.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess the question really is, what do we have?
Yeah, I will verify that with him and send out an answer. I'm hoping he'll be back soon.
Okay, and then the next question would be, if, once we have a copy, if we know exactly what we have, then does it have the appropriate steps to take care of our topic?
It may be that once we really get into the 2021, it may take care of what we're doing altogether. It may
Right.
address everything.
Okay.
And that's what I'll look at and to see if it addresses the issues that
Okay.
we've talked about. And it may be that we just take those out and put those into some type of format where it's easy access for people to see what is acceptable and what is not acceptable, if that makes sense. That makes sense, Joe? Okay.
Find out where we stand.
I just don't think it's why we should go to all this work right now at this point, not knowing.
Well, that's why I said when I found those, I just thought, it sounds like, I mean, according to the ordinance, it's supposed to be there. It's supposed to be in hand. It's supposed to be used at this time, or should be, because I couldn't find anything where it was, repealed,
Okay.
so.
Okay. Commission business, approval of the minutes for November 8th.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from November 8th.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Agenda setting for January the 10th. So we would like to have Jacob attend that meeting.
Right.
We will have an election of officers. So you guys be thinking about it. Anything else that, I'm sorry, Susan.
Can we add our wish list?
You can add your wish list.
Okay. Okay, just so we have a discussion, so everybody can.
Oh, you just want to make that the wish list is the topic?
Yeah, so we
Okay.
just have a discussion of
Yes.
what we'd like to see for 2023?
Yes.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Um,
Commissioner comments, Peter,
No comments?
Susan,
No?
Joe,
No.
Tom,
No,
Fergie.
Yeah, the only thing I've got to say is I was at the parade and at the lighting of the Christmas tree, and it all went very well. We had a good crowd of people in town. And again, I just want to thank those business owners for sticking it out, being with us through COVID, and now we hope that all the live decorations and the windows went well, and we have the Grinch on Center Street, I think. Is that every Saturday? Does that, anyway?
It's Thursday.
Thursday, this Thursday. So this Thursday again. So I hope everybody gets out and has a good Christmas season, and Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Well, I'd like to thank you, all of you, for this last year, and have a very Merry Christmas. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.